won't be having any phone lines open today because first it started to it the phone lines were working, everything was going fine. And as soon as they were telling me that the phone lines were going to be okay, then they doubled back like 1 second later and said, "Oh, sorry, we're having trouble with our system." Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh, hold on. Okay. So I'm going to try one more time because that was odd. First it said your show will start.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
Your show will start in 5 seconds or 13 seconds, it said. And then it said, "Oh, sorry, we're having a problem with our system." I'm like, wait a minute, you can't do that back to back. So
to start your show now.
Let's see what we got. Whenever it takes that long, that's never a good sign. Never a good sign. What up, Stacy White? What's going on? Holding it down for the D. And Matthew Wilson, what's good? You know, I'm salty. I'm really pissed that we won't have phone lines tonight because this is one of those types of shows that I think the phone line should be open for because we have an important thing to talk about tonight. So we're going to get it started. Normally we would start off with some music, so I have to make my own. Since we don't have it here, I'm going to make my own. Bloody ad came up. LOL, I'm here now. That's what's up. Spartacus, what's good? And Jeff Guapo says, what's going on, OG? What's up, man? All right, let's get this party started. We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking all fast lane, no coasting. We do beats. So yeah, let's go. Yeah, we gotta talk about some immigration tonight. Y'all ready? Yeah. 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 So we're gonna talk about day one. Will everybody have to go back? Well, we're gonna have some fun tonight, but we gotta get serious. All right, so we are good. We are good. Okay, so it's the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752, and this is the Daily Go Getimism Show. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, we are asking the question: will all immigrants have to go back on day one? As you know, even if you're not from the United States, you know that Donald Trump has been reelected, and one of the big things that he ran on, as far as his campaign was concerned, was mass deportation. So all illegal immigrants and immigrants of questionable status, he promised to have mass deportation on day one of his presidency. So imagine on January 20th, the day of his inauguration, and and the military or whatever is rounding up people and taking them to the border and telling them to go back wherever you came from. It's kind of crazy when you really think about it. And it makes people wonder, is this thing going to really happen? Is this something that can really be done? Well, he ran on it. People voted on it. It was one of his big or biggest campaign issues. And so now we're going to see. Now we're going to see. Now, to me, this is one of those things where you may get what you want, but you may not want what you've gotten. You may get what you want, but you may not have wanted what you got. So what we're going to see, because I think when you have a situation where you're blaming immigrants for everything, especially things that were already going on in the United States, like when you're blaming immigrants for all of the violent crime, sexual crime, drug dealing, and I'm like, so the United States didn't have violent crime before these immigrants came over? So they really raised the level of violent crime and drug activity? Well, who knew? But we're going to see. We're going to see. So while I'm up and while it's early in the show, we're going to take off early. So I'm going to go ahead and put on our uniforms and let's get this thing popping. So let me get a general consensus. How many of you out there agree with the mass deportation policy that may be implemented in 2025? How many agree? How many agree with it? Got the cow bone, baby. Got the cow bones on. Y'all about to rock the cow bones too. But y'all know how this go and you know how we do. So let's get this out of the way. Hey, get this out of the way. Hey. Which one do y'all want to wear? Genuine cow bones. You can see them all up close. The 1, the 2, the 3, the right. I'm sorry, the left, the middle, and the right. Which one do you like? Which one do y'all want to wear? The one on the left? The one in the middle? Or the one on the right? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? The one on the right? The one in the middle? Cheryl Halsey, what's going on, Ma? And she says, the middle. This is the one in the middle. Matthew Wilson says the one on the left. That would be this one. So once we get 3 votes, we can go. All right. Brilliance says, no, this one is for you. I'm already wearing the ones I want. Brilliance. It's all good, though. You don't have to participate. It's cool. Spartacus says left. So we got 2 for the left. We got 3 for the left. Boom. Left wins. Boom, 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 boom. The left wins. All right. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. All right. Get your outfitted here. Get your outfitted here. Show you the ocular proof. Oh, that's a good look. Looky here. What have we here? Looking good. Looking good, ladies. Ladies, you're looking pretty. You're looking beautiful. You're looking sweet. You're looking elegant. You're looking juicy. You're looking sexy. Brothers, you're looking handsome. You're looking suave. You're looking debonair. You're looking smooth. You got your soft stuff on. Everybody's looking good tonight. We're all dressed for the occasion. Everything is going to be all right. The Daily Go Get 'Emism show. Take a screenshot. I give them what you got to take a screenshot. Yeah, you like it a lot to take a screenshot. Yeah, you know how it go. You're rocking tonight. We talk about immigration with all right. So let's have this conversation, shall we? Let's have this conversation. First of all, I hope that everybody is doing good out there. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. So tonight on the Daily Go Get 'Emism show, we are talking about will all immigrants, illegal immigrants. But, if you've been following this story, they're not even talking about necessarily showing leniency to legal status. Like, it depends on how legal you are. It's really going to have a big impact on whether you're here you're going to be able to stay here or not. This is a big deal. The United States has had a big problem with immigration for decades. This is not a new problem. but the way that we're dealing with it is popular with some, the MAGA cult, as I call them, and very unpopular with others. But Latinos overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. So, I mean, how can you really have a problem with it? But this is something that we need to talk about, because this is something that's going to affect all Americans in one way or another. So it may look like one of these things that's going to be a great thing, like, the immigrants are coming over, they're taking our jobs, they're raising our taxes, and yeah, that sounds good. It sounds good. But there are benefits and pitfalls or lack of benefits. What's the opposite of a benefit? See, a benefit, and I'm vocabularily challenged today. So what's the opposite of a benefit?
Here are some antonyms for benefit: detriment.
Detriment. Okay, yeah, drawback, detriment.
Damage.
I think disadvantage or detriment or disadvantage is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, there are definitely some benefits to having immigrants in the country, and there are some disadvantages to having immigrants in the country. And I think that we're going to really see that in a way that we've never seen before. We may bear witness to something that may look inhuman this go round if he follows through. And I have to say, if he follows through, because Donald Trump doesn't always follow through with the things that he says he's going to do. He just doesn't. I mean, people say that he does, but if you look at his track record with policy, he definitely has some challenges with the truth. But I'm not here to talk about him tonight. We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about his policy as far as immigration is concerned. So let me shout everybody out. What's up, my man Jeff Guapo? What's good? Good to see me. Some you and Chicken Dinner. What up, Chicken Dinner? Great name, great name. Jeff says it's just about doing background checks and making sure we know who they is not all that silly shit. Not according to this policy. Not according to this policy. Some of this stuff that they are talking about implementing is actually unconstitutional. So, there are going to be some legal ramifications going on with this thing. But, what may happen is they may implement it first and ask and answer questions later on, deal with litigation later on. Now, how are people who are no longer here in the country and may not be able to be reached, how are they going to litigate certain things? What are you going to do? Let them back in? Like, it turns out that we shouldn't have put you out of the country, but we did. So, listen, you can get your stuff and come on back. Meet us at the border. You know what I mean? Meet us at the border. I see you in Galveston. I don't know. El Paso. All right. Steel Heller says, you clipping the mic, dog. Drums go hard though. You clipping the mic? Oh, is it making noise? Because that'll kill the noise. That'll kill the noise. And thanks for that, because I'm an audiophile. I don't like bad mic. I don't like bad mic service. I don't like bad audio or bad video. So good looking for that. All right, Cheryl Halsey says, good evening. What up, ma? And Wowza Gamer says Donald Trump songs. Donald Trump songs? I would never do that. Spartacus says, dictator day one, jackass said. That's what he said. That's what he said. But how much can you get done in a 24-hour day? This ain't Ferris Bueller's Day Off or Training Day. You remember in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off? You see how much they got done in that one day? Like, it ain't really possible. Same thing with a Training Day. Like, nobody gets high for the first time off of a drug that they've never used before and sobers up by the end of that day enough to save the world. Like, no. This world is not a movie, but the cameras are rolling. All right, Matthew Wilson says at Jeff, I'm obviously from New Zealand, but nonetheless, I agree with you. That applies for any country. Common sense, I think. All right, that's what's up. All right, Enrique Martin, me la pela trompas. What's good? What's good? Jeff Guapo says exactly, Matthew. We are the people of the land of God's creation. Exactly, son. We have our own criminals. Listen, the one thing I understand is crime in America. I am very, very familiar, well versed, you could say, with crime in America. So, and really, I took issue with blaming the immigrants for the crime in America. Like, what are you serious? Listen, man, I live in the hood. And when I say I live in the hood, I live in the hood. So the hustlers on my block, the dope boys, none of them are from anywhere except from around here. They are American born and bred. Mom's apple pie, that type. As a matter of fact, I don't know any foreign drug dealers. And I'm just being honest. And that's whether you're talking about hand-to-hand sales or weight. And trust me, I've known people who've done both. I've known traffickers. So now I've never sold any drugs, never used any drugs, but it is what it is. But to suggest that, the drug problem, name an administration, a presidential administration that hasn't had a problem with some type of substance abuse amongst their citizens as a policy. Name one. Name one. Because the way that we've handled the drug situation in this country has been different from administration to administration. It would be easy to say that the Republicans have handled it one way and the Democrats have handled it another way. Democrats are supposed to be more liberal when it comes to things like drugs and any type of addictions and illnesses and things like that, rehabilitation. They're supposed to be supportive of that type of thing. But the whole 94 crime bill thing came during the Clinton administration. And so did the privatization of prisons. So as much as people try to glorify the liberal policies of Democrats, I don't know what kind of Democrat Bill Clinton was. Privatization of prisons, which took away the motivation for rehabilitation. Think about it. If I buy a prison and I'm making a lot of money by people getting locked up, do you think I want them rehabilitated? Hell no. No. I want these criminals to remain criminals. I want you to commit crimes out there on the street, and then I want you to come in here and commit more crimes within the facility. Become institutionalized. We can house you for the rest of your life. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. State money. State money. They're private prisons. They receive state funding. And if you notice, after the Clinton administration, that's when you saw a lot of the rehabilitation and recidivism programs start to diminish. So, but the original war on drugs, that started with Nixon, Richard Milhouse Nixon. So that's something to think about when I hear somebody like Donald Trump stand up on podium after podium after podium and act like the immigrants are the ones that are bringing all the violent crime. Violent crime in the United States? I mean, in the United States, yo? That's what we're doing? Come on, man. We got to do better than that. So the truth won't change, but the way it's interpreted will absolutely change. Brilliance Wins says, okay, I read that before. Oh, all right. Let me go down a little bit. Yeah, I do have to catch up on the chat. All right. Hold on. Memory, what's good? He said it's LeBron James. Yeah? Shit. You know what I mean? I've never wanted to be anybody, but I sure wanted some people's money. That's for goddamn sure. Brilliance Wim says more resources for me and my people. You think so? Well, we're gonna talk about that. I wish these phone lines were open. I wish they were. Brilliance Wim says don't have to be MAGA. Get them out of here, MAGA or not. Well, I mean, okay. If you say get them out of here, I'm just curious to know what was everybody doing before the immigrants came? Because I don't personally know anybody who lost any jobs to any immigrants. I don't know any. I hear about this thing all the time. It's a really unfair indictment on a class of people, a culture of people, because we're never talking about immigrants from like Europe. We're never talking about those. No. They can do whatever they want. They're never on the radar. They're not the ones we're talking about. We're talking about people of color. I mean, we're gonna call a spade a spade. We're not gonna act like racism doesn't play a part here. You know what I mean? I'm not one of them kind of niggas. I'm not gonna stand up here and act like I ain't Byron Donalds. I ain't Tim Scott. I ain't what's Carson, what's his name? What was the one token in the Trump administration before something Carson, Dr. Carson? I'm not him. I'm not no super radical dude either, but we not gonna play that. We not gonna play. I'm not one, that says, oh, there's no such thing as race and there's no racism. This country was founded on it. It stands on it. It protects it. And I'm not going to act like it doesn't play a part. Oh, yeah, you straight MAGA. He says, not unconstitutional to deal with illegal invasion. Invasion. That's an interesting word to use, invasion. Invasion. Y'all like that word, invasion? I think it's an interesting word. That word invasion. Because everywhere in the world, except for the United States, we use the word invasion. Russia invaded Ukraine. Germany and Hitler invaded England, invaded France, invaded Poland. No, we have to deal with invasions. Has the United States ever invaded anybody? Because we don't invade, right? No, we don't invade. You know what we do? We occupy. We occupy. The United States is the white hat wearing angelic country. We occupy. Uh-oh. Jeff Guapo said Afghanistan. Oh, shit. Did we invade Afghanistan? How about Iraq? Did we invade Iraq? Because I heard we occupy. So let me tell you what happens in an invasion. When you invade a country, you go in, you use whatever force you need to stabilize the region. Stabilize means that you go in and you disarm all of the army, the defenders, any resistance. You disarm them, okay. All right, let me just go up. So you disarm them and then you stabilize the region. So when they don't have any weapons, there's no threat. There's no real threat of them harming you as you come in there to stabilize the region. So our propaganda tells the American citizens on our media outlets that the people of the places that we occupy are happy that we're there because they were so unhappy with the regime that we went in and changed. Like, let's say with Iraq, when we went in and bombed everything, shot everybody up we killed Uday and Kusei. You remember that was on the front page of the Daily News. I'll never forget it. I was like, wow, media is going crazy. You know, I've never seen them show pictures of dead bodies right there on the front page of the newspapers. Uday and Kusei. Yeah, they got it popping. So, and with once they found Saddam Hussein, you know, he was tried and hanged and all that kind of stuff. So the insurgents, or should I say, you know, what they call the Iraqis who resisted, insurgents, because they were the only ones who must have wanted to defend the country in the name of Saddam Hussein. Certainly no other citizens could have liked Saddam Hussein. No way. No way. So they were just fighting against us for no reason, because we occupied, you know, they didn't like the occupation. But they take, when you occupy, well, that's, I was explaining what happens during an invasion. The exact same thing happens with an occupation. The same thing. But the United States doesn't invade, we occupy. So anyway, so they take away they take away all of the weapons, which is one of the reasons why in the United States we have the Second Amendment, which people defend with their entire lives, because they know what we do, especially those of us who have been service members. And I'm not talking about myself. I've never served in the armed forces. But those who have served in the armed forces know that when we go to other places, we take away all of the weapons. And we know that if we can take away weapons from other people, we can also take weapons away from ourselves in the case of, let's say, martial law or something like that. So that's why the NRA and all of that are always hooting and hollering about, no, we guns, no matter what. We need our guns, because a country that can't defend itself will be occupied, maybe even by its own government, if there's distrust. All right. Let me get to the bottom here of this chat. Jeremy Lakes was good. Jeremy Lakes says we liberated the oil from the Middle East. You gotta love that, right? All right, y'all. All right. So, call me Pain. What's good? Vera, wait a minute. They call me like weapons? Wait, I don't know. Vera, they call Meek or Milk? I don't know. I don't want to butcher your name. Ant 777, what's good? He says, how's life? What's up, everyone? Peace, love, and positivity. 25 around the corner. Yo, just a few more days. Couple of more weeks. Oh, shit. Jeff Guapo knows his military history here. Afghanistan, South Asia, Korea, Japan, Hawaii. I guess you would have to kind of throw in Alaska, kind of, right? There's more. We did it with Beirut back in the 80s. And if you say Southeast Asia, I guess you're talking about Vietnam, but it was also Cambodia and a little bit of Laos. Yeah. Language, vocabulary. Vera says, I will speak on my community after the late 90s and 2000s. We have lost our Black American business. Why? When have immigration helped our Black American community that is already effed up? Well, then if you admit that it was already effed up, then how can you say that it had any effect on you? My question to you is, have you lost any jobs to any immigrants? That's all I want to know. Because I want to know what jobs they're taking. They deal with a lot of manual labor jobs. So I want to know, is there a construction site that use illegal immigrants for labor? Because I know a lot of construction workers. I know union workers. I worked on jobs where I managed with union labor. So, Teamsters. I know a little something. I've never been a union member myself, but I've sat in on many an arbitration member. Many an arbitration meeting with lots of shop stewards, union reps, union presidents. I run the gamut. So I don't know of any jobs that have been lost to illegal immigrants. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. But when I hear people from around my way start talking like this, it makes me raise an eyebrow. I'm like, I'll tell you who has lost jobs to immigrants, to maybe illegal immigrants. Some of these bullshit black contractors. And listen, man, as much as I love my black people, I get so sick of us shitting on each other and trying to blame somebody else for that shit. I hate it. I hate that. And I'm not going to defend that. Now, I'm privy to hiring black labor all the time. I support black business to the fullest. Like if you support black business here, I support it up here. I always think like, how can I put some money in a black man's pocket or a black woman's pocket? But here's what happens with these goddamn contractors. And that's whether you're talking about carpenters, plumbers, electricians and shit like that. We have a habit, and it's not just the black ones. I'm going to say American, but I'm going to talk about the black ones right now, because when we have the audacity to open up our mouths and complain about some immigrants, I'm thinking like, so you contracted out for a job. You came, you got a portion of the deposit. You got a deposit, maybe half for the job. And then you did half or 3/4 of the work, found a way to get the rest of the money, the balance of the money, and ran off on somebody. Never to be seen again. Unfinished work, shabby work sometimes, that kind of shit. That's the kind of shit that Americans do. And then, if a person doesn't sue you or something like that, then you just do that to the next person and the next person and the next person, making excuses. Well, for that money, they shouldn't complain about nothing. For what I charged them, nah. Whatever you charged them was what you felt like you were worth. You controlled that, not them. So if you bid on a project and you underbid in order to get the bid from somebody else and it wasn't enough, that's on you. So what happens with illegal immigrant labor? They just trying to make some money. They don't bullshit on the job. They go ahead, they blitz the project, go ahead and get it done in a timely manner, impress everybody on the block that's looking. They get all of the work, and now your black ass is on the sidelines bitching, hating, and complaining. When you done shitted on Miss Martha, Mr. Davis, Miss Gladys, Miss Lisa, you done shitted on them. Half the kitchen floor undone. Didn't finish that sheetrock. Basement half-ass finished, half unfinished. That deck missing screws on it. So one thing about those immigrants is they finish jobs. They don't have time to be bullshitting because they don't get paid by the hour. So, yeah. Sorry. Now, so I can understand, some of these contractors bitching about losing jobs that way. I get it. But you got to step your game up. If you start fucking people over, believe me, business will improve for you. Y'all know when it comes to business, what's stronger than word of mouth? Nothing. I don't care. I don't care if you put billboards up. I don't care what. If people will tell you, like, listen, man, I got a guy and he will take care of you and blah 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 blah. And look what he did. Look, this is nice. This is beautiful. And he did it for just this much, and he'll do it for you too. That's strong. But if the same way as, yeah, man, I paid this motherfucker all of this money and he left my shit. Look, the door ain't on the hinges right. It wasn't like that. When they brought the appliances in, then they messed up my door frame, didn't fix it, broke the lock, didn't fix it. I got a feeling that one of those motherfuckers stole some of the shit out of my house. I'm missing things. So, all right, Andrew says, and they take care of the stray cat problems too. Win-win. Whatever, man. You sound stupid. I'm confused. Is this guy mad or happy with illegal immigration? I don't. When it comes to illegal, what is you said happy with illegal? What is illegal immigration? What's that? Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Politically, I can't side with anything that MAGA stands for. I just can't, because it's not grounded in, there are too many facts missing from what they want. There's too much emotion, not enough fact. That's just how I see it. And that's not just the way I feel about it. That's the way I see it, based on what I know, based on what I study, based on what I read, based on what I research, based on what I understand. So, but I try to see the fairness and try to be reasonable in my thinking. I don't want to ever be that guy that rejects everything that somebody says just because they've lied before, or because I don't think that they have a lot of integrity. I don't want to be that guy. But we got to do something. We got to do something. Now, when you talk about mass deportation, and that's what we're talking about tonight, mass deportation, you have to take into consideration what that's actually going to look like. Now, because we're talking about breaking up families. We're talking about people who have been here maybe for decades. And a lot of these Latinos voted for Trump because they were thinking that he was only going to deport the drug dealers, the people who were bringing drugs into the country, the violent offenders, the sexual deviants. They were thinking that he was only going to send them back. That's not what he said. I was like, what were y'all listening to? He said, if you weren't a citizen of the United States, and even if you weren't pretty much concrete citizen of the, like if you had temporary status, your ass is out of here. So all you green card holders, you're out of here. You visa holders, you're gone. No, you got 6 months left on your visa. Well, you're going to spend that 6 months back home. So now they're seeing what they say, F around and find out. Well, they finding out. But I don't know what they were listening to during his campaign. He told them any illegal. They sat there right there in Madison Square Garden and said, America is for Americans. What do you think that means? They let a comedian shit on you in his entire set. And then you had other politicians take the stage and spew all of that divisive, really hate-filled and racist rhetoric, and y'all cheered for him, went right in the voting booth and voted him in. Okay, well, don't start bitching now. When cuando tu abuela necesita volver back, vas a her parade. Gotta go. Gotta go. It is what it is. It is what it is. But my question is, are Americans who voted for this shit really going to be happy with that? Because I don't know if you've ever seen, I don't know if the American public is ready for a 2025 version of Trail of Tears. I don't know if they ready to see that shit. It sounds, it's like, you know what it's like to me? To me, it's like when you eat meat. As long as you don't have to see the slaughter, as long as you don't see those cows and chickens being marched in to get their heads cut off, you don't mind. When they cut up the meat and they make it into drumsticks and thighs and steaks and roasts and stuff like that, it's different. It's different when you see the animal go from being alive to being dead to being carved up. And it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. Whenever you kill something, when you slaughter something, it does something to your psyche. So a lot of people who have seen their Texas steer and their cows go from moo to meat, a lot of people stop eating meat because they like, you know what? Nah, it's pretty horrific. It is. It's pretty horrific. If you ever get a chance, if you ever have a chance to go to a slaughterhouse and it doesn't affect you one way or another, something is wrong with you. Because we're talking about mammals like you and I. So if you can go to a slaughterhouse and be okay with it, not saying that you'll stop eating meat, but if you're okay with the process, then something is wrong. So just like you don't see how a chicken becomes a drumstick, a breast, a wing, and thighs and shit, is the same way you may not be ready to see immigrants go from being in this country and working and striving and building families and just trying to live to being rounded up like cattle, damn near lassoed up. You know, if you've ever been harassed by the police or suspected of a crime and brought in for questioning, and you see how they treat you, you know, they're treating you like you are the criminal that they were looking for. It's different. You start looking at police activity differently. So you may have been, you may have gone from, yeah, lock all the motherfuckers up. Yeah, I'm all right with stop and frisk. Yeah, you know, shoot, they must have done something. They must have done something. If they got locked up, if they got convicted, they must have done something. You might go from that to being like, that motherfucker threw the drugs in my bag. They threw it under the seat of my car. I had to spend all of my money fighting that case to the point where by the time I won, I had nothing left. That's how the legal system works. So I'm not sure if the American public is ready for a 2025 Trail of Tears. Because, you know, we've built ourselves up to believe that we are the good guys. But when you see that shit, after January 20th, it might be a little different. Juan gotta go home. Marisol gotta go home. Maria gotta go home. Eduardo gotta go home. Jose gotta go home. All the Chico and Chicas, your hermanos and hermanas, everybody gotta go. Your madre, su padre, su abuela, tu abuelo, tu tias, Titi gotta go home. TT gotta go home. Yo, my auntie, she was chilling on the block, but she ain't immigration status, so she can't rock. They came up, ICE was coming through, and they took her home, and I can't go with you. See, and the other thing is they're taking away American-born immigration. You know how, like, if the way it worked was if a child is born in the United States, they automatically gain citizenship. Now, Donald Trump told a lie the other day. He said that the United States is the only country where if you're born in the United States, you automatically get citizenship. And that is a lie. That is an outright lie. And this is one of the reasons why people don't trust the mainstream media, because she didn't question that shit. And she should have. She should, because he pushed the envelope. He challenged her. He said, did you know that we're the only country where you become a citizen just for being born here? Well, we're not. We're not. So, yeah. But, you know, since all MAGA believes everything that Donald Trump says, it doesn't matter whether he was telling the truth or not. All that matters is that he won. All right. You're a winner. Okay. Jobless Mike says, this simp voted for Kamala. Well, I'm not a simp. I know I get more pussy than you. And I know I'm better looking than you. I can't even see your face, and I know I'm better. And I know that because you here watching me. I know. And your LGBTQIA ass is probably sitting there with a hard dick. You fucking. But hey, enjoy the show. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. You fucking people. But it's all good. It's all good. Love is love. I clap back. So if you come to this channel thinking that you come, you know, looking for somebody that's just happy that you're here and like, you know, please like me, you've come to the wrong place. I'm arrogant as fuck. But I come with information and I come in peace. But I will give you a fuck you in a minute. See, this don't pay my bills. So I'm going to be all right with you or without you. I'd rather have you here. But if you're a dickhead, I'd rather have you somewhere else. But I'll let you hang out because this show is all interactive and there is no censorship. So I'll let you say what you want to say. Anything you want to say. But I say what I have to say also. That's the way that works. Bitch ass. Bitch ass motherfuckers. All right. So yeah. So what do y'all really think? What do y'all think? Will he carry out this whole mass deportation thing? This is going to be hard for him not to follow through with it. He ran on tariffs and everybody has pretty much figured out that they got fucked on that. I don't know what y'all were thinking. All you had to do was look up how tariffs work. You think prices are high now? It's about to get ugly. It's about to be. It's gonna be so fucked up, man. I hope y'all got good jobs, cause you going to need them. He has y'all believing that the other countries pay the tariffs. Well, they do. And they charge it to the company that brings them into the United States. So it goes down to the consumer, you know, the customer. You pay the cost. So, congratulations. Congratulations. But he's not going to place tariffs on everything. I know he ain't going to place tariffs on them oil companies. He ain't going to do that. All right. So gas might go down. It might. It might. But the price of food, electronics coming from China, you better buy a PlayStation this Christmas. You want a PS5? You want a Xbox One or whatever number they are up to? Because I'm a PS5. I'm a PlayStation dude. You better get that shit this year. You better get that shit before January 20th, or it's a wrap. It's a rapidy wrap. Because a PlayStation 5 costs $499, or they have the new PlayStation 5, which is $699. That all of them shit's gonna be over a G. We're gonna go back to remember when the PS5 first came out, and the demand was higher than the supply, so it was like an underground item. It was like a black market item. So you running around here paying $1,200 for a damn PS5. Well, you're about to pay that much in the store. Gerald says PS5 for the win. Gerald says, let's go. Hold on. Let me see. Let's go. The Japanese know what's up in the gaming world. BPM says toward correct price of food and stuff we want and need is set. Do you mean you're correct? All right. Jobless Mike says there's no difference between him and the Nation of Islam on Minnesota Avenue standing on a soapbox trying to sell his bean pies. Oh, you talking about me? No, I think there is a difference because the Nation of Islam has a lot of money. You ain't paying me. Nation of Islam asks for donations and they get it. They have their own business model. They don't depend on independent money. That's why they've been able to sustain so long. So yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference. Yeah. If you've ever, anybody here who's ever listened to the Nation of Islam, you can see that there's definitely a big difference between what they would be talking about and what I'm talking about. But peace to the Nation of Islam. Peace to the Nation of Islam, the nation of the gods on earth. Peace to the Nawabians. Peace to the Hebrew Israelites. Peace to all religious sects. Cultures and countercultures. Peace to all of that. All right. Nation of Goofies. It's like an opinion. See, Jobless Mike says, what exactly did Joe Biden do for you? And explain to me what Barack Obama has done for black people also. Let me know what your opinion is on Donald Trump federally funding HBCUs and Barack Obama didn't. Well, first of all, you're wrong because Barack Obama actually did it way before Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, all he did was continue the program that Barack Obama had already set up. So they were already getting money. See, this is how I know you don't read and you don't know shit. So, but let me clear something up because you're dumb and you're not like totally stupid, but you're totally misinformed. So this is how this works. First of all, HBCUs are nothing but state schools. So there's no difference between an HBCU and a state school like Penn State. So you have a HBCU like Lincoln University and like Cheney University. And then you have other state schools like Penn State, which I graduated from in 1993. And Temple University or Shippensburg University or Millersville University. There's no difference between the two of them except for the demographic. There's no difference. HBCUs cater to try to bring in more black people to further their education or to participate in higher learning. That's the only difference. But guess what? Now, I'm going to give you an easy one. All black people don't go to college. So HBCUs do nothing for black people on the whole, because less black people go to college than people who go to college. And more of the black people who go to college don't go to HBCUs. Did you know that? Did you know that? So, I support HBCUs, and it's nice. And it's a great political talking point. But when you go deep into it and you start dealing with the facts, they're nothing but a state school. There's state colleges that cater to a certain demographic. It's not a situation where they make it cheaper for black people to go. In case you thought that, you're wrong. Some of those, if you go to an out-of-state black school or HBCU, it's going to be expensive as fuck. And we have HBCUs that are Ivy League worthy, like Spelman and Morehouse. And we have regular state schools, like a Lincoln University, Howard University. Actually, Howard University is a very good school. It is. It's a very good school. But I know your dumb ass didn't know that kind of shit. And I'm not just calling you dumb, but since you put it out there about what Barack Obama has done, I'll tell you some other things that Barack Obama has done. He has inspired little black children and older black men and women who never thought that they would ever see a black president in their lifetime, because I never thought I would see that in my lifetime. So that inspiration, that completion, not only did he make it, but he actually got reelected. So I'm uber proud of him. So I wouldn't give a shit what he did. But he did build an extremely strong economy that Donald Trump tries to take credit for. Donald Trump did not build an economy. What he did do was build up more debt than any other president has ever done historically. He spent more and put us in more debt than any American president, starting from George Washington to Donald Trump now. That's what he did. And he's the first president to actually lose jobs. Like, people lost jobs under Donald Trump. But they don't seem to tell you that on Fox News. But he's our 47th president of the United States. So he's who we're working with. I wish him all the best. You said, and this is the reason why you guys didn't win. What do you mean we didn't win? Who is we? First of all, motherfucker, you didn't win. Donald Trump won. You didn't win. You didn't get shit. And you're not going to. What do you mean? Let's say y'all won. You're not going to get anything that the people who didn't vote for him are going to get. There is no we. There is no us. There are no you guys. That's what I'm saying. You're so fucking stupid. There's no we. You did not win. Donald Trump won. He won. Him and his running mate won. You didn't win. Your check hasn't gotten any bigger. You didn't get any awards, no medals, no nothing. And you're not going to. I mean, what is, y'all kill me with this dumb shit because you're not thinking. Divine presence was good. Say, yes, we did. No, the fuck you didn't. You ain't win shit. All you did was go into a voting booth and vote. You didn't donate no money. I can tell you didn't donate no money because if you donated some money, you wouldn't sound so dumb. You don't even know how politics work. Look at that stupid shit you wrote. You sound stupid. All right. You voted by, okay, you voted by mail. I'm glad you voted by mail because that's how y'all lost in 2020. If you would have voted by mail then you probably would have won in 2020. Y'all said, fuck that shit. I'm voting. Any way I can get a vote across, I'm doing that shit. Oh, man, this shit is funny as hell. Oh, man. Said first class mail and still lost. Let's see. Barack Kumas says, nah, I'm not fucking with you. I'm not sure if you are qualified to be using the N-word, dog. I'm not fucking with you. You know what I mean? You got to show me a picture. I'm not one of them who just let anybody use that shit. I can use it. Artemon 559. I didn't see you in there. What's good, Artemon? He says, we had clean air and clean water when Trump came in. What? Oh, man, this shit is funny, man. Yo, do me a favor, y'all. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getterism Show. I'm your host, Sun752. Yeah. So I hear that they want to take away American-born immigration status. So babies that have been born here who are constitutionally citizens just for being born on American soil, they're trying to take away that right. But you got to go to the Constitution to do that. Like, it's totally unconstitutional. But he's talking about. I heard Donald Trump say it. Like, yeah, we trying to get rid of that. Just because you born here, no. But how many? If he keeps his promise, because he talks a lot of shit. If he keeps his promise, do you think? Or let's put it this way. Let's take for granted that he's going to get it done. How many do you think he will be able to deport on day one? Just give me a round number. Give me a round number. So Elon Musk is a wally. Hold on, let me see. Gerald said at least 17 people. Good number. He said he does keep his promises. He said he was going to build the wall, and he did. No, the fuck he didn't. Man, look it up. You have a computer right there in your hand. Look up how many miles of wall he built. And did you know he wasn't going to do that shit? He wasn't going to do it. He ran on the shit to get elected, and he wasn't going to do it because he knew there was a cost that he couldn't afford. First of all, he told you that Mexico was going to pay for it. How much did Mexico pay for it? I mean, did they give $1 million, $100,000, $1,000, $100? How about $10? Did they give $1? How about $1? Did they give $1? Mexico say, get the fuck out of here. I'm not paying for none of that dumb shit. You want a wall? Build it. How much did he give? How much of the wall did he? Let's see. How much of the wall did Donald Trump build during his administration? Let's see. Trump's wall. How much has been built during his term? This was in 2019. Let me see. The White House said his visit would mark the completion of more than 400 miles of border wall. A promise made, promise kept. So how much of the border wall has Mr. Trump managed to build during his term in office? Let's see. Let's say various types of fencing totaling 654 miles, just over 1,000 kilometers, were already in place before Mr. Trump became president in 2017. However, Only 80 miles of new barriers have been built where there were none before. That includes 47 miles of primary wall and 33 miles of secondary wall to reinforce the initial barrier. 80 miles. Huh. He only had about 600 left to go. And that was in January 4th, 2021. Okay. In 2016, President Trump repeatedly claimed Mexico would pay for the wall. This didn't happen. The U.S. government has paid for the wall, and there have been arguments over how to fund it between the Trump administration and Congress. In January 2018, Mr. Trump asked Congress to pay $18 billion over the next decade for an initial phase of construction, but the bill ultimately failed. I mean, you know, this is an easy thing to do. Y'all can look this up. I mean, you know, like I said, you have the computer right in your hand. Just like I talk to it, you can do the same thing. You don't have to deal with false facts. You don't have to deal with it. You can deal with actual facts. That wasn't the only article. There were more to choose from. Look, I could have chose way more. I could have chose more. You can do it too. But he wanted the wall. He ran on that, but he wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to do it because where was the money going to come from? He wasn't going to do it. And 777 says, "What's good, son? How's this conversation tonight? How's everyone? Mucho love and respect." This man's going the way it's going. You know, y'all know how these political conversations go. But we're just talking about this mass deportation thing. Like, what's it going to look like? Will this thing really happen? Because this is not an easy thing. This is not an easy thing to do, this mass deportation thing. It sounds a lot easier than it actually is. Like, the way this may play out is a lot different than, like I said, it's one thing to eat a chicken drumstick or a plate of wings. It's a whole different thing when you see what they have to do to the chicken in order to get it. So yeah, when you think about these immigrants being marched home, marched back to their country, as if they live down the street or some shit, and you just picture them like, oh well, yeah, I had a great time, America. I hope to be able to visit again one day. All right. So long. Adios. You don't know what it's going to be like when you hear, oh my God, no, I don't want to leave my baby. Oh, my grandma here. We've been here for 50 years. And people getting dragged, and there may be bloodshed, because I don't know if people are going to just submit to going back, because they've built lives here, bought houses, paid taxes. Some have built businesses, things like that. I don't know if this is going to go the way people think it's going to go. I don't know. Jobless Mike says, dummy, the only reason why you actually have people watching is because people want to argue with you. And at the end of the day, you keep on losing streamers since you've dropped to 15 viewers. So you're pocket watching, you're view watching. If you've ever been to this show, you notice that it always goes up and down. But I'm not in your living rooms, and I'm definitely not in your head. So I don't know what your motivation for staying or going is. But I do know that you're still here. So regardless of whether my views go back up or whether they go down to 0, I have a feeling that if they go down to 1, you'll be the one, which means you are totally on my dick. You, sir, are crab lice. You are on my dick like crab lice. I need to go to the drugstore. I need to get this crab off my dick. I ain't no motherfuckers haven't caught crabs since the 80s or 90s. And then here this motherfucker comes. What it do? What it do? What have we here? What have we here? Okay, Jobless Mike says, and it's one thing for a guy that lives in Philadelphia to speak on how immigration is going to be handled when he has no idea of what a border patrol agent actually looks like in real life. Well, yeah, I live in Philadelphia. Why should I care what a border agent looks like? Why should I give a fuck? I don't live down south. I don't live down south. I don't know if you live down south. I don't care if you live down south. Let's say you live down south. Okay, now what? You like what are you saying? Like this dude, and he's still here. You know what I mean? That's the shit that kills me. You know, you still here. You don't have nothing to do. It's 3:14 in the morning where I'm sitting, and you're here. I'm here. I'm here for a purpose. You're here for a purpose. Shirley Sherrill, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Shirley Sherrill, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. What's good? Border agents are in Washington, D.C. Why? See, we don't have the phone lines open tonight. Oh my gosh, I wish. Let me show y'all. I wish the phone lines were open tonight. But
welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
Trust and believe, even if they were, he would not call in. You know, these cats are keyboard gangsters. They full of shit. Y'all know.
Start your show now.
Here comes the bad news.
We are sorry, but we are experiencing a problem with our system. Please try your call again later or report a problem through the Blog Talk Radio webpage. To start your show now, press 1.
So there you have it.
Instructions, press 2.
There you have it. So, yeah. So we don't have phone lines tonight, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Let me see. K-Cell says, this is a free country. Give any opinion we want, Jobless. Yeah. I mean, ain't nobody. Listen. This is a platform that I developed. I'm not going to tell you what you can say, or I'm not going to influence you what to say. You know, the First Amendment is alive and well in here. Alive and well. Danny says, how much you got on your neck? I almost feel like you should say pause behind that. I don't know. Well, what is that? So a lot of these hot button issues go 1 to 2 sentences deep, and that's what's frustrating. Yeah, because you know we have so many differences in opinion, different cultures and stuff. And it just really highlights how divided we are and how even more divided we'll become. Social media has done a lot in the way of propaganda and just false information, misinformation that is really to our detriment. It has us believing the wrong information, rejecting the right information. And when it all comes down to it, people are going with their feelings. One thing that people love about Donald Trump is they think that he's authentic. They think he just says whatever he feels and he doesn't have a filter, and they feel like he's saying exactly what he feels. But I don't think people really understand that he's a showman. And when somebody is a showman, you can never be sure if they're saying how they feel or if they're playing to the crowd. Because I know in order for Donald Trump to get anything done, he has to be different behind closed doors. He has to be. Because somebody who is in front of the camera all day cannot legislate. They cannot govern. There are only 24 hours in a day. And he spends a whole lot of that in front of cameras. Other presidents don't do that. Now, unless you think that the man is magic, unless you think he's David Copperfield or something, or that he has a doppelganger, like he has somebody else that he can pretend to be, it's not. He doesn't understand policy, foreign or domestic. He just doesn't. He goes with the way he feels. And y'all say that, well, his supporters say that they appreciate that. So, okay, it's cool. I choose my friends by how well I get along with them also. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I would qualify them to run businesses or to handle my money matters or to inspire or take care of my family. Doesn't mean that. So, listen, man, me and you, we can dap it up and we can bust it up and we can yak, ha, 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 tee, hee, 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 key, and that's all good. But when it's business time, I need somebody who knows how to handle that. So you may be a lifeguard at the pool and you may be great at it. It doesn't mean that I need you to make sure that my taxes are paid or you're qualified to make sure that the beams in my house are strong and sturdy. So I don't consider him to be the right man for the right job. I mean, I don't consider him to be the right man for this job. But millions of Americans believe that he is the man for this job. So this is what we're working with. Now, this is not favorable to me, but it is what it is. So when we're talking about mass deportation, we're talking about something that we've never seen before. And I wonder how prepared we are to see this, because I think that on one hand, we really believe that we're ready for this. But I think it's because I don't think we know that we're going to have to see this. I don't think we understand how this revolution is going to be televised. I don't know if we know. I don't know if we know exactly how this is going to play out. This thing could be horrific. It could be. But let me see. Let me see. Let me. How many people in the chat, how many of you agree or support this mass deportation thing? Just by a comment of I or yes or I do, whatever. I just want to see. I just want to see. So you could let me know, Gerald, you agree. Okay. I don't know. Y'all going back and forth. I don't know. Art of Mine 559 says, I think Jobless Mike wants to be a colonizer. I think a lot of us have colonizer in our blood. Not me, maybe not, definitely not you, Art of Mine, but you know, until you actually, you know, let me ask this after we see. Gerald says, who supports mass deportation? People who voted for Trump. Matthew Wilson says, I do, but my opinion doesn't matter because I live in New Zealand. Okay. But your opinion still matters. It doesn't matter because this can happen in any country. It just happens to be happening in the United States. K-Cell says mass deportation should include the colonizers too. Heavy. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hold on, slow down, K-Cell. Slow down. All right. Why did the strong Wakandans lose to the white colonizer then? Oh God. And 777 says, hell nah, money won't move the same. Plus, some people do need help. All right. Baby hits a wall, says, no, too many people I know being deported that I know who aren't even illegal. I'm not Mexican, I'm white, but I have empathy. Joshua Faye Saunders says, talk about a bunch of sore losers. Remember whose language you all speak. Well, sore losers? How should a person conduct themselves when they win? Because I don't know what we've won. I don't know what MAGA or Trump supporters, I don't know what y'all won. Trump won. Nobody else won. You know, like when your team wins the Super Bowl, you win more because now you get the paraphernalia, you know, like, all right, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, well, it was actually February 4th, 2018, when they won, because I'm a season ticket holder, I was invited to come to the stadium and hold the Super Bowl trophy. Got to take a bunch of pictures with the Super Bowl trophy and all of that. So they won, and we actually did win. When a president wins, you don't win. He wins. He wins a right to do a job. You didn't get a job. He got a job. Now, if that sounds like sour grapes coming from me, to me, it sounds like just simple logic. But all this dick riding it's gotta chill. It has to. Talking about we won. No, you didn't. He won. Him and JD Vance won. What did they win? A job. Y'all voted for him to get a job. If Kamala Harris and Tim Walz would have won, they won a job. Not you. You ain't getting shit. They didn't even mail you anything or text you, you know, like, yo, thanks for voting for me. You know, we couldn't have done without you. Didn't get none of that shit. There is no we. I mean, this shit sounds crazy to me. Andrew says, I bet he wasn't saying that about the Great Black Hope. Which one was that? Who was the Great Black Hope? Say his name. So But I'm glad you said that, because I guess Donald Trump is the great white hope. I mean, all white supremacists love Donald Trump. You never hear you never hear skinhead, neo-Nazi, right-wing militia group. You never hear them say anything bad about Donald Trump. That tells you everything you need to know. That tells you who he's working for. Now, they might have won, but you didn't win. All right. Baby hits a wall, says at K-Cell, what about the anchor babies born in the U.S. Trump wants to deport? Like I said, that's a that's a Constitution issue. He's not going to have an easy time with that. That's a toughie. It really is. That's a toughie. I don't think that's going to go the way he thinks it's going to go. But this mass deportation thing is not going to be as sweet and as seamless as people think. I brought up the thing about drumsticks, about steaks and stuff like that. Seeing an animal get slaughtered so you can eat changes your perspective on the things that you eat and the process of things. But let's make it a little easier. Because when you talk about seeing things up front, when you're able to view things from a certain angle, a closer view. How many of you have ever tasted cow milk straight out of a cow? You know, like just cow milk. I went out to Lancaster County. Me and my dad, and we milked the cow, and I drank the milk. First of all, I'm looking at the milk and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it clear like that? Why does it look milky but not milk? I didn't know about homogenization and all of that kind of stuff. I didn't know. I didn't know how milk made it from the cow to the carton. I didn't know. So when I drank this milk, it was fucking disgusting. And I mean, yuck. Because, first of all, it looked crazy. Like water, like cloudy water. And it tastes funny. I didn't like it. And I realized from a young age, because I don't think I was more than 7 or 8 years old when that happened. I'm 54 now. I realized that things are a lot different when you see them up close. It's like a girl that you've only seen in pictures or on a movie screen or on a computer. And you don't know anything about makeup. And when you see her in person, and you're thinking like, yo, this was a bad bitch. She's a very regular. This chick is human. She might still have the big titties and a fat old ass, but that face is not the same. She might have pimples. She might have blemishes. She might have whiteheads. She might have vitiligo. There may be some skin challenges that she has going on. But it's different when you see them up close. It's different. It's different. And I think that with this mass deportation thing, watching it from here is cool. But I think as it comes into our living room and on our devices, and when we really have to deal with the human experience and that amount of sorrow, it just might be a little different. It might be a little bit more challenging. Man. Okay. Yeah. Please do me a favor, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Son752, aka Omad with the. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, we are talking about will all immigrants have to go home on day one? Will all immigrants really have to go home on day one? Is that the way it's going to go? Is it? I don't know. I don't know if this is going to play out the way that we think it's going to play out. I don't know if this is going to wind up the way that we think it's going to wind up. There are a lot of different ways that this thing could happen. And this may not look up close the way we imagined it from far away. You remember in science class, they showed you how a magnifying glass worked when they were trying to show you how come it gets cold, how the earth is closer to the sun in the wintertime versus the summertime. I don't know if y'all learned that in science class or if you remember, but I remember my science teacher explaining to me that the sun is actually closer to the earth in the wintertime than it is in the summertime. And that didn't make any sense to me. He said, well, take a magnifying glass. You know how when the light or the sun is in the magnifying glass, if you pull it back, you can burn something. You know, it gets hot. That's how it is. That's how it is in the summertime. You pull it farther back, and the trajectory makes it hotter. But the rays, when they're closer, they spread out. So it doesn't hit the target as well. But that might explain why it hits places like the equator. It might explain why those places remain hotter during the colder months. And I'm saying that to say this. When this mass deportation thing goes down, it might be like that magnifying glass. From here, you're getting what you want. But up close, that shit is going to look different. With a magnifying glass, you don't see it as well. It's a magnifying glass. It needs to be up close in order to magnify something that's small. From here, it doesn't make it look too much bigger. But you get up close and then you see the flaws, the imperfections. You see the details in it. And that might be how it goes. That might be how it goes on January 20th. Maybe. I mean, we have to wait and see. As much as Donald Trump likes to talk, sometimes he keeps his cards close to his vest. Especially the stuff that he's lying about. He doesn't like to lie outright. He lets you find out about that in the dark. You know how they say, what's done in the light will eventually come out in the dark. But I don't know. I don't know about this mass deportation thing. I don't know if it's actually going to happen because, like I said, he's been known not to do shit that he says he does. He's been known to fabricate. I mean, he has a problem with the truth. Anybody who denies that is in total denial themselves. Like, come on. I can deal with a person who says, well, listen, I excuse his lies because, you know, the things that he is doing besides the lies are acceptable for me. And that's good enough. Like a family member, you know, like, I know he's full of shit and I know he's going to cost me money, or I know she's not the best person. But hey, that's my people. That's my sister. That's my love. That's my wife. That's my mom. That's my auntie. That's my grandma. I get it. But to say that this man has integrity or that he's steadfast and or staunch in following through with what he says. I mean, give me a fucking break. Give me a break. This dude is still talking about he has concepts of a healthcare plan. You didn't have time to think about this yet? You might as well just keep the Affordable Care Act because you don't have one that's better. You don't have it. He said that recently, the other day. Concepts of a plan, baby. Hey, yo, I got concepts of a plan, but don't ask me no more about it because I'm not the man. Yo, I got a lot of other things to think about. I got to build me a wall. Got to get them out my spot. Mass deportation. That's how it's going down. Yeah, and January 20th coming around. I hope that y'all see it on cam. If that shit is going to be crazy and like, damn, he really doing that shit? He's moving that shit? He is really like showing and proving that shit? Well, we gonna see soon enough. I think it's gonna be kind of really, really tough. But if he really follows through, I think it's gonna be some tears shed, maybe from you. And if you don't, that means that you're heartless. Let's get this thing together from the beginning. Start this from beginning to the end. And yo, I got friends from other states and cities and towns and countries, but I don't know if they really want to be in a situation. I know it's kind of stressful when you know you about to be evicted and can't kick it. Imagine how they are feeling right now. I voted for this fool and he's treating me like a clown. I ain't got a big nose or some floppy shoes, but on January 20th, I'll be singing blues. And I'm not talking about BB King of Fats. Yo, this shit is going down. I don't know where I'm at. And I don't know if I can go back. I left because I was seeking asylum. This shit is crazy. And I say energetic or lazy. I gotta go to my job tomorrow. It phases me. I'm paying taxes, bought me a crib, even got me a car and loans. Yo, I'm about to moan. All the stuff that I really have going on. My kids just got into school. They're feeling like a fool. It ain't cool. The rules have changed. And on January 20th, shit's going to look strange. But how much can you get done in only one day? Well, we going to see January 20th. Yo, we going to see how he play. We going to see, son. We going to see. We going to see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We're going to see. It's going down. It is going down. Daniel Tukey says, I hope they all get deported. Queso says, I'm in favor of my 40 acres and a mule. The money will come from the land I develop. It ain't gonna be 40 acres. And a mule can't plow 40 acres. But your 40 acres are still owed to you. You gonna take a compensation package? You gonna take a compensatory, like you gonna work for your 40 acres in the mule as if your ancestors didn't already do that shit? Come on, black man. You could do better than that. Come on, son. No. Your 40 acres in the mule is owed to you. It was written. And your reparations. Native Americans, so-called Native Americans got theirs. American Jews got theirs. The Japanese in World War II got theirs. And you gonna take some other shit that's not. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. We gotta do better than that. I ain't even mad at you, K-Cell, but come on, man. Okay, you said no, bro, not meaning it that way. All right, cool. All right, cool. Because we ain't gonna get no addition from. We're not gonna get no addition by subtraction. I don't care if there's not one immigrant in this country. They ain't gonna. I tried to explain this months ago. And it's not a hard concept. So let me try it. Let me try this again. Does anybody here run their own company, have their own business, or manage the finances for a company? Well, if you do, then you know that all of your supplies, all of your operating expenses are budgeted. So you may have a budget for paper supplies. You may have a budget for chemicals. You may have you definitely have a payroll budget. You have a budget for everything that goes in to standard operating procedures. And you as a manager or an owner of a business, you can't take from one budget to fuel another, because it will throw the whole thing off. So if you find that you are spending too much in one area and too little in one area, then you need to lower the budget for the one you're not spending as much and raise the budget on the one that that requires more money. But you can't take the liberty of doing that on your own if you're not the owner of your business. And even if you are the owner of your business, in order to make sure that things are uniform, you have to communicate with your team or your employees to make sure that they're not taking the liberty of doing things their way instead of the way that you want, based on the needs of your business. And now I'm saying all of that to say this. There's a budget for all citizens of the United States, whether we're talking about recreation, whether we're talking about taxes, whether we're talking about housing, whether we're talking about education, whether we're talking about transportation, infrastructure, all we have a budget for everything. So what you're not going to find a budget for are individual groups of people. There is no black budget. There is no white budget. There's no Asian budget. There's no African budget. There is no South American, but that's not the way it works. They work on certain policies, and all of those things are budgeted. But the bottom line is you can't take from one and give to the other just because you want to do that, or just because you feel like it's an emergency. And to make sure that people aren't, to so-called make sure that people aren't just dipping into whatever fund that they have, that's why they make you go through Congress and all of that, instead of just letting the president, do whatever he wants to do by executive orders and things like that. Now, that's the way it's supposed to work. We know that in real life, there's a whole lot of thievery going on. But I will outline that story to let you know that these immigrants leaving this country is not going to put any extra money in your pocket. That money is going to go to the government, and they're actually going to lose money, a lot of money, because those immigrants are providing labor. Many of them are paying taxes, and you don't get any money when people pay more taxes. It doesn't go in your pocket. It actually takes money out of your pocket. So now, many people believe that once we get rid of a lot of the immigrants, then the housing situation will improve and it'll be cheaper to buy a house or cheaper to rent an apartment. And it would be nice if that was true, but it ain't. Now, I get it. I've heard people say things like, well, the reason that housing is so expensive is because these illegal immigrants are flooding the area, so they're making things crowded, and so these developers, these real estate developers and these landlords don't have to compete with each other because the demand is so high. Well, maybe it's like that in some places that have always been like that, like New York, but it's not like that in Philadelphia or anywhere in Pennsylvania that I'm aware of. There's plenty of room. The rent is high because they have developed new places. They've built new buildings with cheaper materials, but it looks prettier. So cosmetically, it's better cosmetically. As far as the infrastructure is concerned, they just don't build houses the way they used to. You could literally go get a big bad wolf and huff and puff and blow a lot of these houses down. They ain't nothing but a bunch of sheetrock and 2x3 studs. Not even 2x4. They fucking with 2x3. Anyway, with all of this, with all of the when Donald Trump says things like build, baby, build, there's a cost to be paid for that. And those costs are directed towards the customers. I like the word customer better than consumers, because a consumer is just a person that uses up things. You know, that's not the only definition, but you understand. I get that from my dad. He used to hate the word consumer. Now I've adopted that. Rest in peace to my pops. Bottom line is, this is not going to put any money in our pocket, and it's not going to make our housing more affordable. It's not. And you would think that the people who are selling the houses would be happy as you know. But if any of you ever go to casinos and you play craps and you see the guy who, you ever notice any gamblers here? Any gamblers, anybody who plays craps? You know, craps is a fun game. All you have to do is pick a number, and if the dice roll on that number, you win. But you have the don't come bar. The don't come bar is the 7 out guy. So every time people 7 out, he wins. So you'll see the regular gamblers who bet on anywhere from 4 up to 12. You'll see them when they win. Yeah, this is great. And when he's 7 out, you never hear the guy who bets against everybody. He don't say shit. So that table be cold as ice. Keep 7 out, 7 out. And you see a guy, he's not a pit boss. He's not a dealer. He getting all the money on your losses. That's what I would think that the people who are selling houses, that's what I would equate them to. Because their property values are high as hell. That's why they can sell the houses for so much. They're winning. And it's actually symbolic of a great economy. When economy is good, prices don't go down. But I get it. Eggs are too high. The price of bacon is through the roof. Well, it might be. I don't eat the shit, but I don't know. Bill here says, funny, California is talking reparations, not even a slave state. They can talk reparations all they want. You don't see nobody doing reparations. All them, plenty of politicians have talked about reparations. Jill Stein, she talked about reparations. At the end of the day, you're not going to win any elections on that shit. You're just not. You're not. White people ain't going to vote for you, and black people are not going to believe you. That's what we're working with. So the only way that reparations will ever come into fruition is through the courts. It's not going to come through legislation. So how's that been working out? Because when the reparations start giving out, I'm here for it. But I know I won't see that in my lifetime. Nobody Special says, so you feel like you should have a budget for reparations? No. I don't think you must not have understood what I was saying. You said because you get what you earn. True. What I'm saying is, for people who think that housing is going to go down, gas is going to get cheaper, and jobs are going to become more plentiful when immigrants leave, they're sadly mistaken. That's what I was saying. I don't know where you, but you know, I'm glad you misunderstood what I was trying to say, because this is the real problem. We have a communication problem. People are listening just to respond. They're listening with their hearts instead of their ears or their brains. I get it. But I'm here to explain myself too, or to at least make myself clear. Where's the budget for the redheads? Where's the fucking budget for the damn Eskimos living up there in the cold? Well, the Eskimos are in Canada. I don't know. Ask them where the budget is. I don't know. Ain't no Eskimos in the United States. Not in the Eskimo element. I ain't seen me one igloo in this country. Not even in Minnesota. Let me see. All right. You just talking shit. And you like to type in a lot of capitals. All right. Artemon says, not talking about reparations anymore. No tax would be sufficient. Nobody special. It's just not going to pass the political smell test. That's all. Guadalupe Lopez. Nah, eggs cost $17 for a 52 pack. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even eat eggs, man. But I get it. I do. I get it. I don't like how much food costs, but shit, food is not going to go down. Food prices are not going to go down. They can talk all that shit they want to talk. The food manufacturers raised the prices of all food because during COVID, they said that they were having a problem with drivers being able to stay healthy enough to be able to drive. So to compensate for the inability to be able to deliver on time or whatever, or if they had to pay emergency drivers, they raised the price of the food. But you know what happened? Many of the healthcare workers, food markets, and home building supply stores like Home Depot and you know the Walmarts and the Lowe's, they were in business, and all of them were making money hand over fist during COVID, and they were the only ones making that kind of money during COVID. Healthcare, food, and home building supplies, and I imagine streaming services made a shit pile of money, right? Streaming services and whoever made masks, things like that, people getting their hustle on. But they went from a certain lifestyle before COVID, and COVID afforded them a much greater, higher, more lucrative lifestyle. You think they trying to go back? They might have been driving Cadillacs before COVID. After COVID, after the pandemic, or during the pandemic, now they driving Bentleys. They driving Lotuses. They driving Rolls Royces. They're not trying to go back down to Cadillacs. Shout out to GM and Cadillac. But they ain't trying to go back to that. Sorry. It ain't going to happen. And you wouldn't do it either. Now, it's easy for us to say that, yeah, well, you know, they should do it for the country. They should do it. Man, nobody give a fuck. Listen, greed knows no compassion. Now, if anybody disagrees with that, that's on you. But greed knows no compassion. If a person is greedy, they don't give a fuck about the United States. They don't give a fuck about men, women, children, animals, plants, animal, vegetables, minerals. They don't give a shit. And our capitalism these days, our lust for capitalism is off the chain these days. Oh, we just about to be out of here. Yes, 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 yes. Guadalupe says Walmart was 24/7, but pandemic made it 7 a.m. till 11 p.m. Something like that, but they were open. All of those little independent businesses that weren't essential businesses, they all went belly up during the I don't know where anybody else lives, but I live in Philly, and we had a lot of regular stores. You don't see stores anymore. I mean, real shit. We don't see stores. We were just talking about this the other day on the show. You know, sneaker stores, clothing stores, bakers, you know, like, you know, butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, whatever. You know, we are so used, the pandemic got us so used to buying things online. Now you open up a business, you can barely make it because people will go online and find it cheaper. And it makes it hard for you to compete. You know, I mean, you can thank Jeff Bezos for that, but he ain't the only one. And the pandemic really, really changed life for the world, because look how many. I think that before the pandemic, people probably use Uber Eats sometimes, DoorDash sometimes. During the pandemic, come on, man. Come on, man. It's DoorDash and Uber Eats or whatever kind of delivery service all day. Once you have a system that gets everybody used to something, it's hard to break the masses out of it. Once the masses get used to one thing, it's hard for them to go back. And that's why I don't know. It concerns me about this whole Donald Trump winning the presidency again, because he has people really thinking that they can go back. Even if they just go back to 2017, 18, 19. You never hear Donald Trump talk about preparing things for the future. You never hear him talk about preparing the youth to be able to run this world. You never hear him talk about that. A 78-year-old man that never talks like that. You don't think that's a little hinky? Audemars says go back to 1950. I mean, that was his heyday. That was his heyday. He grew up as a teenager and all of that in the 50s. Well, that's when he was getting his bop on. I get it. But the world ain't like it was in the 50s. You know? Shit, the American car company. I mean, we had the automotive industry, the steel industry, even the clothing industry. America had it going on. It ain't like that no more. It ain't like that. But I don't think that most of America wants to get back to 1950. I think they want to get back to I'm sorry. I think they just want to get back to 2016. Real shit. And I think they're gonna have a hard time with it. Let's do this. Let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious December 10th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, my girl Elizabeth Banks. Happy birthday to you. And also Rachel Bruce and Letitia Barnes. Happy birthday to you. And Yaneris Anisesi Peralta Baez. Happy birthday to you. And also, hold on, let me get this picture out of here. Me versus you. Happy birthday. And last but not least, my girl. She spells her name backwards. It's Latisse. I'm sorry. Latisse Mitchell. Latisse Mitchell. I want to say happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious December 10th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. Go hard, go for yours. What? Go hard, go for yours. And remember, I don't know if it will be the Trail of Tears, but I'm gonna see that thing loud and clear when it happens on the January 20. I don't know if it's really gonna go down the way people really thinks. It looks a little different when it's close to you or what you're going to do. This thing could be ugly as whoopee back in 1984, but I say for sure, I ain't trying to diss. Yo, I apologize, miss. I used to fry your ass up like fish, but I don't know if my abuela is ready to take the trip back on home. This shit is crazy. Moan is what they might be doing. A whole lot of crying, a whole lot of belly aching, a whole lot of sighing. It's going to seem like people are dying like a million cats. That's me yowing. I say, ow. I don't know if it's going to go down, but I know that shit can't clown. 2025 is going to be more than just a project. That shit might be coming at each and every neck. Respect is due a dog, but I don't think they're going to get none of that shit seeing through the fog. I keep a log, things that happen every day. I encourage other people to do it the same way. You can write it on paper or jot it down. You can put it in your phone so never leave it anywhere around. I break and pound. I say that things are going to look crazy out here, but I make it clear. I know that things have had to change, but what they also change and keep things the same. Will they make you feel better than you did before? Will you have a whole lot of horrific things in store? I ain't ready for the Freddie and Jason. You know, they don't make no noise when they be killing. You ever think about that? Yo, Jason makes no noise, and neither is Michael Myers. Yo, listen, Messiah. Y'all kings and queens, the things that I've seen, this shit is crazy. It's sort of like a movie scene, but I don't like the ending. Maybe not even the beginning. People voted for Trump and think they winning. You heard it a couple of times on this show. And to me, y'all all sound like a bunch of hoes. My pimp is taking us to the promised land. He ain't giving us no money, but we get fucked, my man. And it's all gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be all right. Think it won't, everything is gonna be all right. One way or another, we gonna make it through this, my brother. We made it 4 years before, we'll make it 4 years after. And hopefully after that, we get a little laughter. I don't care who gets elected after this shit, but I gotta get through this shit. And peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Hold on. I don't love all of y'all. I love some of y'all. Most of y'all. Let me put it like this. My regular supporters who come here every night and the ones that dip in and act like they got some sense. I love y'all. The rest of y'all, we cool. We cool. But I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night. We will be back tomorrow night at 2 a.m. We the best thing smoking in the middle of the night, baby. You think we ain't when we are? You think we gonna reach higher than the stars? Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I will be back. We will be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. Make sure you come back through too, my friend. All right, so I can take off my uniform. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get ready to clock out. Yeah, feels kind of good. Yeah, let me remove yours too. Yes, I won't take your clothes off, but I'll take those off. Everything good? We good? We good? Everything all right? Y'all have a good night. Be safe. If some of y'all getting up to go to work, have a great day there. And if some of y'all going to bed like I'm about to do, sleep well, dream well. Holla! Peace.